Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Whose Online Is It Anyway, where the hypersonic missiles are made up and the facts don't matter. I'm Toxic Male, and his butt's been wiped. Terrence Popp.
What's up, you simp suckers?
Welcome to Grunt Speak Live, episode 83.
83 already.
Oh, yeah. And I think, you know what, I'm going to let you take it away on this one because the Vegas stretch, 4-year anniversary of the, country's largest mass shooting ever, was a huge hit during our last stream. And as a result, we got some lovely comments when the bit itself was posted. So take it away.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. All right, so this is what's going on. We have a guest tonight who was actually on the ground when the whole Mandalay Bay massacre unfolded. Now, I also read some of those comments that this whole thing was a false flag and it was all staged. And all right, now listen. I have literally, right after it happened, watched probably almost 100, maybe a little bit more, of cell phone videos that were filmed by people that were on the ground. That speaks volumes for the fact that this was not like, a Sandy Hook situation, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions that have yet to be answered. Like Vegas, you literally can't do anything without showing up on at least a dozen cameras within a 10-minute period.
Yeah.
Everything in Vegas is covered. Like they watch you play, they watch you gamble, they watch you walk up and down the goddamn halls. I mean, outside there's footage, and other than the cell phone footage that was released from individuals who are on the ground. And despite the fact Vegas has pretty much more cameras per square, area than anywhere on the globe, they have not released much, if any, of that footage.
Gee, I wonder why. I mean, if you've got thousands of hours of security camera footage, kind of like a certain Capitol building.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to release that information to the public if it would strengthen your narrative? Oh, I think I just answered my own question.
I think you did. Something fishy happened there. Do I think that guy did it all by himself? No.
There's no way.
No, that guy was a patsy.
No. You guys saw the footage last week. Talking guns, witnesses talking about people mingling in the crowd saying you're all going to die.
Plus, there was also gunfire at other casinos that weren't even near there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was insane. It was insane. And I'm gonna be honest. While it was going down, the police that were working in Las Vegas shit the bed. They did not handle that well at all. That's why I am a big proponent that you should probably hire combat decorated veterans to become cops, because
instead of just pushing them off to the side like they tend to do.
Yeah. And, because, especially if you got guys who had actually been in a war zone.
Cool under pressure.
Well, if you've been just shot at before one time, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
A lot of those cops, you could tell they had never been fired at.
Oh, you mean like that video in our Effed Up but Funny segment where the dude's like, dude, check out my taser. It's so cool. Tases his buddy. The guy falls on his head.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that it was just handled so poorly. And, I don't know. And, another thing that really bothers me is there was a whole bunch of lawsuits filed.
Yeah.
I have yet to hear of any of that shit in the media. I think they were all settled out of court. Everyone signed a non-disclosure agreement. Listen, I'm going to be honest. If I had a family member that got clipped at that event, I would not take a payout. I would go to court. I would want the world to see exactly what happened.
Didn't you say the owner of the Mandalay Bay actually tried to sue people who were in the crowd or something like that, or sue guests?
Sue victims.
Victims, yeah.
So I don't know exactly.
Lovely.
That is some fucked up shit right there.
Yeah. So we do have a guest tonight. He's on the line right now. Given the fact that everything that he is going to tell you basically flies in the face of the mainstream narrative, he has chosen to stay anonymous. But I will tell you that I have met him in person.
Mm-hmm.
I know the dude. He's a good guy. And I have no reason whatsoever to doubt what he says.
That's cool. That's cool.
So
we'll call him what, Mr. B?
Yeah, we can call him Mr. B. How do you like that? You like Mr. B?
That works perfectly, man. I'm all right with that.
All right.
Mr. B.
Mr. B. I feel like I have to address you as Stewie. Hello, Mr. B.
Hello.
Would you like some wheat thins or Cool Whip?
Yes, please.
All right, so
we're jesting, but it is going to be a serious subject, but we got to try to keep this light because it is pretty effed up and not funny.
No, and the thing is, it's just like all those people were killed and wounded, and it's the anniversary came and went, and I heard nothing about it on the mainstream media.
Yep, 4 years with no answers. You would think somebody on the anniversary would be asking these questions.
Yes, you would think.
So, Mr. B, how did you come to be at this event?
So I've always been kind of a country music fan, but I never put Vegas and country music really together. It's always, an adult playground. Yeah, it's like, they have NFR there every year, but that's just like the biggest reason why, country boys want to go up there and have a good time. Like that's just the thing.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So I was there for a hockey game actually. Vegas had just gotten a new team.
A hockey game in the desert.
Yeah, in the desert. Yeah,
I like it.
Okay, why is that okay? But the fake river and water, you're like, that's not cool.
I have a problem with that. I'm sorry.
It's a walking
everybody
contradiction.
Said it was a bad idea to put a team there, but.
All right, so you go there to watch the game.
Yeah.
And afterwards is when this kerfuffle took place, or?
Yeah. So I'm sitting at the game. The game was like around. I think it started like 4 or 5, maybe 6. Okay. And so we get out of the game, and it's like 8-ish o'clock. I want to say. I don't remember exactly, but I was there, and I was like, well. The food is probably not going to be that great at this concert because it's in the middle of the field, right? For Vegas standards, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't we go and just grab a burger real quick? So we did. And then I was like, well, what am I going to do now, right? Because I don't gamble. I'm not that guy. And there's plenty of time to be drinking, after.
There's always time to drink in Vegas.
Always.
Unless you buy this $88 bottle of Whistle Pig.
Yeah, fuck that. It's the most overpriced bottle of booze on the planet.
I know. It's terrible.
Yeah. I'll see you guys some booze. Anyways, it'll be better.
All right, so
anyways,
you show up.
So
Show up at the event.
Yeah, so I show up there, and the first thing that strikes me is the layout of this place is really bad.
So
right?
you're saying they basically did the layout to be a kill zone?
Deterrent. Yes.
So all of the targets were confined in an area where they couldn't get away, and there's only one way in and one way out. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
And it was a small. It was not like a huge door, right? We're talking it's a small door. It might be. I don't know. It might have been a 8-foot, 10-foot door.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe bigger than average sized doorway.
All right.
which is crazy.
And you got
Okay.
easily a few thousand people there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. What?
Oh,
Yeah. How many
they said it was
people would you?
22,000.
42,000 people.
42,000. Wow.
And they'll have to go through basically a small garage door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's not good at all.
You wouldn't be able to get away with that in Vegas now. They would call that a super spreader event. And
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's another thing. It's like if you had veterans involved in setting this whole thing up, they probably would have done a better job.
Yeah. So I walk up and I'm like, hey, I got my ticket, and this guy just looks at me and he's like, okay, and he was like, they had metal detectors. Walked through the metal detector. You know, I'm a guy that likes to have a good EDC, right? But because I had traveled and I knew that there was probably going to be one, I left it all in my in my hotel room, right?
So
And
you said you had a firearm. You left it in your hotel room.
yeah.
Okay.
oh, they wouldn't
And
have let him in with it.
No, I got you.
Now, yeah. So then I looked over and there's like this bowl, and it's like there's all these like pocket knives because you know it's a country concert, right? So this dude's had pocket knives and everything. Like, sorry, you can't bring those in. And I'm like, okay. So like I don't have anything, but I asked the guy like, whose are all those? It's like literally just a pile of pocket knives, and I'm like all the people that. It's like their names on it and all that. And I was like, okay, like at least that's a little bit thoughtful, right?
Yeah, they never got that shit back, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
That
I
shit's
highly
gone.
doubt they did, you know, but there was a lot of efforts they said, you know, afterwards, like years later to get that back. But whatever. I don't think it ever got to the right.
It probably got sold on eBay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
I think after 90 days, it's considered abandoned. So.
Right. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I walk in. And I'm a tall guy, so like I don't have to be directly in the front. And I think to myself, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I really don't want to get all the way up in the front because all these people are packed in here like sardines. There's one way to exit. You might be better off like being in the back versus the front because I can see the stage and everything.
Yeah, so you're basically concerned about being trampled.
Yeah, trampled or
it's a valid concern because 42,000 people, when they decide to move through the garage door, you're not resisting that. You're going to go with the flow, and if you fall down, you're going to die.
Yeah, it'd be like you know Black Friday at Walmart when they open the doors at 5 a.m.
Oh, well,
yeah.
It'd be way worse.
I know it'd be way worse because there's people shooting. That's
people
just
getting
saying.
shot.
It'd be way worse.
Yeah, you hear it.
So
it'd be bad.
So we're everybody's just like normal. Like it's a great night in Vegas. You know, it's like everything's great. They're playing. Jason Aldean comes on, and then you know I start thinking to myself, I'm like, I saw people in the crowd that were just like, for whatever reason, had like a sixth sense.
Oh, all right.
Like,
So wait. Okay. Now, I'm an old hand at this.
Right.
I have been in war zones, and all of a sudden you get that creepy feeling in the pit of your stomach, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't be standing out here in the open. And then you move, and then some shit goes down. I've had that happen about a half a dozen times to me in my life.
I remember that lair story you told when you were out in the desert or wilderness or something like that, and then everything got quiet, and you just got that nagging feeling.
Oh, and I pulled out the 12 gauge?
And the way you told that story, it gave me chills. I was like, oh, I've had that feeling. It is not a good feeling.
No, I literally stood up all night with my back against this like 3-foot wide tree with a 12 gauge shotgun with buck and slugs in it.
Nice.
So if somebody decides to show up to kill me, you know, in my sleep when I'm camping, I'm not going down without a
It is not going to go well for
fight.
you.
All right, so you're at the event.
Okay. So I'm at the event, and I got this feeling that we talked about, right?
Yeah.
And then I start like looking around, you know, like checking everybody around me, and I start seeing some like people do like weird things, like reaching in their pockets, like, like, why are you reaching around your body trying to, what do you already, like, supposedly you already have all of your weapons and everything out of your pockets. So like, what the hell are you digging in your pockets for, right?
I got you.
And so like, then I was like, something doesn't feel right, right? And I thought, maybe I just got bad sushi or something, right? Or bad, maybe it's like, because like, my brain says, like, well, you should probably get the fuck out of here. And then I'm just like, no, maybe I just got like some bad food or whatever. So I'll just go to the shitter, right? And like, then we'll figure it out from there. At least I will not be all over here by all these people, right? And so I turn around, like my back to the stage, and I hear like just a few gunshots. Now, I'm pretty sure that it was not the fully auto fire yet. Okay. I don't know where it came from, but I'm going to say it was probably small arms or 9mm or something like that, right?
All right.
And so like, I'm like starting to, book it out and get to like at least out of the bullpen, I would say, right?
All right. So you were moving.
I was moving
out of the center of the big bullseye, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is smart. I got you. Yeah, I hear you.
And so then
now,
after,
have you ever been present when a whole crowd starts to panic? Did you?
I think he was about to be.
Well, I know, but the thing is like when it starts, you can literally.
There is no stopping it.
You can't. One, you can't stop it, and you can literally taste and smell the terror.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like the first time that I had ever been like tasting and smelling this, and I was like, oh, something's fucked up here.
Now, did you see anyone get hit around you?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
How long before the shooting started, before you started seeing people go down? A minute, 2 minutes, a couple seconds? What?
I don't know.
I know it's
I
hard
would say way less than a minute.
Okay. So it's less than a minute.
10 seconds, 30 seconds, somewhere in there.
Listen, when you're in that situation, time has a whole different meaning. You perceive time way different.
V Twin Builder in the chat says, I wonder if this initial small arms fire was a signal that it was go time.
Well, typically, in the military, when go time starts, you kick it off with your biggest casualty-producing weapon, not a pistol. Well, but I don't know. So I mean,
it's just a
thing. I think it's worth saying, and like I got maybe back up a little bit, right? The story about the people that were saying that you people are gonna die and all this other kind of stuff, and like the people that were warning people. That's totally true. Okay, like I saw that person get walked out, and in Vegas,
you got to royally fuck up to get walked out of an event.
Yeah. And they were just like, well, we don't want you to, do this, and it's maybe just go over there and have some more fun in Vegas, right? But not here.
Yeah,
right?
I gotcha. Listen, I've really seen dudes have fist fights at some events in Vegas, and they still don't throw them out. They just separate them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's some shit going on there. That's, for you to get walked out, yeah, there had to be some crazy ass shit.
So then, like, I knew I was there. You can tell the difference between the 9mm rounds.
Yes, you can.
Supposedly, and like the cadence of the at least
belt-fed
more
machine
than two.
guns?
at least more than 2 belt beds.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there was obviously at least 2. I think there was more like 3 or 4, but
Yeah. No, look,
like,
I got you. Now, here's another question that I'm going to just throw out there to the ether. You can look at the wounded and the dead and tell what weapons were being used.
Yeah.
And we have not heard any of that information, because I can almost guarantee you there was 1 medium machine gun and 1 light machine gun there at a minimum.
Yeah.
yeah.
And somebody, actually one of our wrenches mentioned in the chat, I don't recall any footage with any blood in it. All of that footage was banned on YouTube, and after this stream, like always, there will be a link to sources on Redonkulas.com, and you will see the footage that was banned on YouTube if you go to those links.
Correct.
We're not going to show it here
we can't
because
show it.
obviously we'll get banned.
And
but
the
it's
thing
out
is,
there.
It's like one of them is really bad, and
Yeah.
it was causing me to
like,
get the willies.
I mean, when you want to say lots of blood, lots and lots of blood.
Yeah,
right?
I've been at a mass casualty event in Iraq where over 100 people got whacked, and 3.5 times that number wounded. And I got stuck on the second wave, which was cleanup, and literally it was like I was walking in black pudding, and there were so many flies, it was like blotting out the sun.
Yeah.
It was so horrid.
Yeah.
Just to let you guys know, we got a hamster in the chat.
All right.
A ginger hamster, to be exact.
A ginger hamster. All right.
So he doesn't drink on our stream, but he drinks on his own because he has no soul.
Keep going. This is good. This is good stuff. Now, with me asking the questions as you go along, is this bothering your cadence? Or?
No. I actually like it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, everything just happened like super fast, right? But fortunately, I didn't have to worry about getting trampled, right? Because whatever, 6 cents, I just obeyed, right, my intuition. And a bunch of people got pretty hurt and trampled. I mean, several people I heard died from being trampled. Lots of people had broken bones from getting stepped on.
That happens.
It was a shit show, right?
Listen, that's the nature of the beast. If you decide to go to a packed concert, you run the risk of getting trampled or injured if that crowd moves the wrong way. That's why I don't attend those things. Number one, that too.
I really have a hard time doing it now, right? But
my PTSD would go crazy.
Yeah. I can imagine, dude.
I'm just, I don't know about you, Popp, but like I'm always looking at all the exits everywhere I go now. It's like the thing.
So you should.
So anyways, we get there. I mean, like, so the shooting starts, right? And I was just kind of shocked that people didn't move faster than they did.
Well,
right? It's like,
there's always an air of disbelief once it starts happening, because we're technically in America, or you're supposed to be safe, and most people are like, what's going on? And that's why I do the Pops Prepper things. I'm trying to tell people that if you think it can happen here, you're out of your goddamn mind. You need to be ready all the time, 24/7, 365.
So let's cut to the chase and boil it down.
Okay.
We know what the official narrative is. It was a lone gunman, even though he had more guns than he could have ever fired by himself.
Yes.
So you know the narrative. What's the bullshit?
So the bullshit is there was 4 windows broken out like you showed last week. That's 100% true. That's not photoshopped. It's not nothing. It's 100% true.
You mentioned also that there were people
firing. Should we just continue on about like exiting and getting people out and all that, or
Yeah.
I mean, the other
yeah,
stuff
so-
that the bullshit. That's really what people
so the
in the
shooting
crowd are going to want to hear
starts,
about.
and
So
and I don't know, maybe Popp can help me on this, but it, for at least when I was there, I know in the video recordings, it sounds like it stops, but like when I was there, it did not sound like it stopped. Like there was a very small stop, right in between.
That's when they're
right.
That's when they're putting in a new belt.
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And so like I swear this thing went on for like somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes of just nothing but just like mowing everything down, right?
I gotcha.
And you got to understand, there's a bunch of people that didn't move for the whole first belt, we'll say, right?
Yeah,
So,
I noticed that in the video.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, of course, my back was turned. I was getting out of there, right? But you know, watching it here, it's like, yeah, these people didn't move. It's like when they came through the gate, it was like, okay, a decent amount of people going through at the first, and then it's just like the tide broke, and you know, everything just starts pulling out, and people, I mean, there was literally people trying to jump feet first, right? I mean, it's insane. And then some people obviously never left. Some people had to be carried out.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Some people couldn't walk.
So you sent us an email with a bunch of questions. I think there's like
No, it wasn't
20
questions. It was just
your statements.
points. He misinterpreted something that I was asking him for earlier, which is fine.
Well, the thing is that the way you wrote that out is perfect. Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah,
I have it in front of me.
That, yeah.
All right.
Let me pull that up.
Well, don't show his name on.
Oh, it's not going on the
All
screen.
right,
I have it in front of me though.
Yeah.
Yeah, way more than one gunman. One of the things that you mentioned when you and I were discussing having you on the show is that there were people in the crowd firing, and there was also bullets coming from the strip, which is something
Nobody
one talked about.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
This takes a really a weird turn, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think we can all agree that nothing good happened at the concert, right? But I guess in that point in time, it's like, okay, you're in total shock. Like you kind of, when you know in your head that like that's a machine gun, and you know, people died and all of that, like you expect some death and carnage there. What you don't expect is everything that follows, right? So there's, you know, just so all these people eventually filed out.
Uh-huh.
Some of them were crawling, some of them were, I mean, without getting too graphic, like humans have the ability to move themselves, and they moved in every way, shape possible to get the hell out of there.
No, I've seen it before. I understand.
And some people had to be carried out.
Uh-huh.
And so then Vegas is relatively a small town. Okay, like there's like a couple hospitals, but they were totally unprepared for what transpired, right? So now that, you know, let's say that the 15 minutes is over, 10, 15 minutes. I mean, I didn't have a stopwatch, but it sure as hell felt like maybe like it was 30 minutes or an hour to me, but you know. But so everybody's running and trying to get cover. There really wasn't any cover for a long ways. But you know, if you look at the 30 degree and the angle that he's shooting, like if you get behind something that's relatively good cover, there's a decent chance you're not going to get hit if he decides to keep going. And so people just are fleeing, right? Like any way possible. Like they had literally people running down the streets the wrong way into oncoming traffic. And I mean, it
was pandemonium.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's pandemonium. Like you have people running to like gas stations and they didn't know how they got to gas stations.
Yep.
Right. You just kind of blank out. And just,
Yeah, and
so
it could have been way worse, because if those machine guns had been brought down to ground level, and they just started, firing at 1 meter, actually at 3 feet high, and just go back and forth, you literally could have killed hundreds and hundreds of people.
Oh, probably thousands.
Yeah.
Which
is why it did seem, and this is something that you and I disagreed on. This is definitely a coordinated effort.
Yes.
We know that the Patsy, had Antifa ties. And Mr. B said, I'm not really sure about Antifa.
Yeah,
they're not that organized. I said, that is true, but the people who fund them are organized.
Well, they originally came out with that he was from ISIS. Okay.
Of course, yeah.
And this may be a hot take, but some of the I guess I would say Black Ops stuff. Some people tell me that might be ISIS also, but we'll just kind of leave that there.
I gotcha.
I don't know anything about that. Never served in the military. Don't know how that works. But I find it really hard for somebody who got to this location 3 days early to prepare for all this, and the lengths at which they had to prepare just to pull off what they actually pulled off, right?
Uh-huh.
You can't tell me that this is Antifa, right? This is way more than some kids with baseball bats or
literally
kids looking for problems.
For this to get pulled off to the level it was in that particular area, the coordination and everything, I'm thinking alphabet agency.
I totally agree. Or some other agency that is not on American soil, or maybe got paid to be here. Who knows, right? We don't know.
But could the Patsies have been just randomly selected people? Because you never want your own. You don't want your own people to get tagged.
I can tell you about the Patsy. The Patsy's well known.
Yeah.
Right. The Patsy's lived in Mesquite for I don't know years.
Well,
I talked to his pseudo wife, who was
in the
couple
Philippines.
Of the couple of Cracker Jacks, short of a full box.
Well, I'm just referencing what Popp said about this could have been a lot worse if it were, guys who have been in the box like him who know exactly how to do it, and you could have mowed down a heck of a lot more people. So when you've got 40 some odd thousand people and you only manage to wing about 600, that speaks for coordination, but it could also speak for inexperience.
Yeah, it could be inexperience. And the
fact... I think they so do you so I have my own theory.
Well, no, share it here.
I don't have any facts, right?
No. Right? Listen, they haven't released any facts at all.
Okay. So here's what I think me and you agree, Popp. It had to be somebody who's trained, who knows what's going down, right?
Uh-huh.
And like they have to have had some kind of training, because if you just go shoot a belt and fed machine gun and you know absolutely nothing about it, right? Like it's going to jam, right?
Well,
and then clearing jams, I don't know.
Well, the thing is I've fired an ass load of machine guns in my career, and they do malfunction, but it's usually easily fixed in less than a second or two tops.
Okay.
Unless you're putting a new belt in, that takes a little more time, but not much.
So I think the Patsy, which I don't even want to say his name, right? He's fucking evil. But I think the Patsy was equipped and trained by somebody far superior to him, right? And maybe had much bigger pockets than him, because he was just, I mean, I hate to stereotype this, but he was a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're
like,
right. Yeah, he was.
I mean, it's like it just is, right? I mean,
Hmm.
so you have somebody with deep pockets, you have them say, hey, do this for us. We give you this much money. Have a good time, right? Do whatever drugs you want to, because, well, you can do that in Vegas. And then, well, you're going to take the fall for this. And
Well,
I
see
think
that.
that's kind of where he was at.
Well, okay. No, all right. I see what you're saying, but I believe they found like 25 weapons in his room.
Yeah, they said 25 guns,
All right. So
a
this is.
couple of bomb stocks,
Uh-huh.
which is bullshit.
But the thing is this. I think that he brought that shit there thinking there was going to be a platoon of guys to fall in on all those weapons, but they weren't needed because other people were doing it. And then he mysteriously suicided himself, and allegedly, and the people who actually did the shooting are long gone by now.
I agree with your theory. I mean, I think it's just like, you got to have a fall guy. Okay.
I got you.
I mean, oh, yeah, the Patsy's more foobard than what's I don't know, with the redheaded Karen that's in Toronto or something.
So
Snickly Puff or whatever.
Yeah. So the shooting starts. People start going down.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you left the scene. Is that correct?
Yeah. So basically, there were people there, and
Unmuted.
and once the most of the gunfire was perceived to be over with, right? People was like, oh, like we'll try, because we didn't have a whole lot of ambulances, right?
No.
So they're trying to get these people so that they don't die to the hospital, right? And so you're literally putting people in the back of pickup trucks, okay?
Which you should do.
Which I don't have a problem with. I mean, it's better than
nothing
dying,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So then then all the hospitals get filled up with all of the injured people.
Yep.
So then all of the people that, a whole nother part of this thing that nobody's talking about, is what happened to all the people that are just scared out of their ever-loving mind, didn't get hit, or they did get hit, but they're not like, it's not like they're not bleeding. They're not bleeding out. Okay. So it's like, you had a bunch of people that got injured. They got punched in the face or, whatever, but they're not a critical case, I guess I should say, right?
Yeah.
These are the people who got herded into the Bellagio ballroom and forced to stay there for like at least 6 hours.
Here's the kind of the messed up thing, right? Okay, going back to this thing. So
that's right. We're gonna have to wrap it up here in just a few minutes, good sir.
So Mandalay Bay was sued for $800 million. Okay. For not protecting its guests because it was on
their property,
MGM property.
Yeah.
Right. So now, if you go into Mandalay Bay, or I'm pretty sure any MGM property, as soon as you walk in the door, they have like X-rays and stuff.
Okay.
So they X-ray everything, right? There's more than 1,000 security. I mean, you hit on this, Pop. There's so many security cameras in all of the hotels, it would bog your mind.
Yeah.
No one's ever produced any of the footage of any of that. Okay. They showed the one. There was at some point, at least that I'm aware of, there was where the security guard got shot in the leg, right? And he lived. Okay. People were saying that he was going to die, but I'm thankful that he lived, right?
All right.
Let's see. The property damage. Okay, so this is what I'd like to get to. So we're running. So basically, everybody went in all different directions, right? There was no like, master like ants going to a mound type of thing. Like you would think that would be the smart way to do it, right?
No, it's pandemonium,
but
bro.
it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So some of the people just started running towards Mandalay Bay, which if there's a shooter in there and God knows how many other people there might be in there with guns trying to shoot people, like, I certainly wouldn't run towards it, but they did that. They put a bunch of people in there. The more interesting thing is the further down you go on the strip, because Mandalay is at the very south point of the strip, the farther you go north, things don't add up, right? So at this point in time, there is so many SWAT officers in the freaking streets and trying to, I guess, secure the perimeter or secure whatever the strip is, right? Just secure everything, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen more SWAT cops in my entire life, okay? They had SWAT cops come from different, like, neighboring cities, neighboring...
that's actually, that's fairly common. The police departments have agreements with adjacent principalities to aid each other in times. So, I mean, what you're saying is not shocking to me. I mean, that's fairly common.
Right. So then, but the weird part is you walk down the strip, and of course, so Vegas is completely shut down at this point. Okay. Like, imagine how much money they're losing. Okay. They got shut down for, it was at least 12 hours, but it might have been 24. I'm not exactly sure what time they turned the switch back on and everything. But the strip was completely shut down. There was nobody gambling. There was nobody in any casino whatsoever. Right. Which is, I think that's happened once or maybe twice
in Vegas
history.
Yeah.
Like that just doesn't happen, right? So let's see, went over that. Oh, one thing is there. I only saw one medical person at this whole entire thing.
Yep.
At the concert, I saw one medical person for 24,000 people.
42,000 people.
Yeah, 42,000. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, we don't need to go through every bullet point on the list.
Why don't we do this?
I would say, sum it up in your own words, like this whole experience.
Yeah, we got to move off this subject here, but
yeah.
So let me hit just like the points that I haven't covered yet, right? So, you walk down the strip, everything's shut down, right? And not only is it shut down, there is all like all the front doors and all the stuff that you can see from the strip, like the Bellagio.
It's all shot up.
And it's all shot up. Like everything's fucking shot up.
Yeah, I saw some of that footage and I read some of those reports.
And I'm just like, how did this happen, right? Like, why in the hell is all this?
They have never explained it.
So I go over, I asked the SWAT cop, and I was like, "Hey, man, how'd all this shit get blown up?" He goes, "I don't know." And I'm like, okay. Well, when did you get here? Oh, about 20 minutes ago. And I'm like, so they basically put us. We had, I mean, there's so many SWAT people, right? But you go to a door, there's a SWAT person, right?
Yeah, I got you.
And so they put everybody in the Bellagio ballroom for like 6 hours. And so you can imagine there's...
Now, while you were locked in the Bellagio, did any officers come in and start interviewing people?
No.
All right. Yeah, that is a big no as well. Because, you know, as you were...
In fact, they told us...
No, listen.
They told us, don't get on the social media. Don't say anything.
As you're explaining this to me, by me interjecting all these questions, what I'm actually doing is called a debrief. It's a military term. Because a lot of times when you're in the moment, you will see things, but you won't acknowledge them unless somebody asks you the questions and debriefs you as to what happened. Now, while they had all those people in that ballroom, they easily could have brought in officers to start talking to people and get their stories. And then once you put it all on a storyboard and collage it, you can build the picture of what fucking happened.
Yeah.
Right.
And they did not do that.
No.
No.
And I want to end this though. I know that you probably have a lot more to talk about, Mr. B, but
I've been going on for 45 minutes, Mr.
yeah,
B. We got
Sorry.
the big thing that really stood out to me in your outline was that when anyone asked these SWAT guys what was going on, all they said was, "We are investigating."
Yeah.
And that's all you got. And yet,
We're
4 years later,
yeah.
no answers.
Yeah, no answers.
Yeah. We're investigating. Go over here. Don't leave there. And then so they kept them for 6 hours. I mean, people are they're crying. Their people are laughing. People are tired. People are trying to sleep. People are angry. Some people are breaking shit because they don't know what to do with themselves. Right? It's like it was this pandemonium in the ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'd say about 4 a.m, right? Because we got into the ballroom, I would say around 10:30, 11, somewhere in there.
All right,
They gave us basically bottled water.
Hey, Mr. B, we got to jump off here. We got to move on.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Okay.
All right. Hey, look, I want to thank you for coming on the show and telling us, your story. And if anyone out there wants to come on the show and they have information for any crazy shit that's going on, either currently or shortly in the past, and you want to be anonymous, we'll do the same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Appreciate
lot
you
of
guys.
people in the chat, Ed, saying, why are we talking about this? The reason why we're talking about this is because it happened here. It happened on our soil. Alphabet agencies are suppressing the information.
Yep.
Because if this was, a lot of people claiming this was a false flag. If it was botched so badly, they did the complete 180 degrees of what they typically do with a false flag. Because normally false flags are used to weaponize government against its people. Oh, but you see, this is happening. This is happening. This is terrifying. You need to give us more power over you. That's
Correct.
Usually what they don't memory hole it. Yeah. Unless either A, it happened and they had no idea what the hell was going on, or they discovered it was just so badly botched that they had to memory hole it.
Well, here's another interesting
Bad news bears.
If you look for this footage on YouTube, it's almost all gone.
Yep.
When this first happened, there were hundreds of cell phone videos. I looked at hundreds of them.
Yep.
And they're also on a live leak, which is gone now.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally being pulled out of the public eye, and that's why we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because for historic reasons, 50 years from now, long after I've gone to my next assignment, people will be able to find this somewhere and know people gave a fuck, wanted to know the truth, and were not scared to talk about it.
Yeah. And what's happening to all the footage? You could call it censored. Yeah. Just like particular topics that you can no longer talk about on this Studying and Brave platform.
It's getting scrubbed.
If they don't want you to know it, chances are you should still be talking about it. If you're going to, whine in the chat about why are we talking about this, how you doing, Hillary?
Yeah.
If you're asking what difference at this point does it make, you're the problem.
Absolutely. Ooh. Whoa, that was like right there, baby. All right, Mr. B, we're going to let you go and move on. All right?
Take it easy, Mr. B.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
guys.
on, man.
All right, man. I just, I hope Mr. B can put this behind him and get on with his life.
It's got to be something that he,
well,
still has nightmares about.
No, I have nightmares virtually every single day about the mass casualty event I had to clean up in Iraq.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was hell on earth. It was just horrific. I still can't go to a butcher shop that has open meat.
Yeah.
Because I smell the blood. I'm right back there putting body parts in body bags. It was just horrific. All right. So let's
grab
put
some
a
super
period on
chats
this
from
one.
it here. I went through the super chats. I did a quick graze through to see if there was any questions specifically for Mr. B. We didn't have any, but we do have some here from Talbot Links. Oh, actually, you know what? I need to go back in time a little bit because, YouTube and all of its, lovely and totally operational glory decided to delete 3 super chats, but I found them and snagged them from Triggers McNickers. I just heard that Pops' ex and mine shared the same friend. He's known around the base as Old rigger dick.
Oh my God.
Get a job, riggers.
Jesus Christ.
It was blowing up in the chat before we even started.
It's all right.
Riggers. Jeff won the bound. Rachel Levine is now a 4-star admiral. We're going to talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're
later.
going to get into that.
Fake admiral, basically fake everything, pretty much sums up this administration. Let's go, Brandon.
Amen.
Any women.
Yeah.
Fuck Joe Biden. I'm just trying to figure out when the people who are spinning this whole gender nonsense are going to realize that whenever they spout their little LGBTQ WTF LOL, the B stands for bisexual.
Which is an abbreviation for
Two genders.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, are you going to transition to one of the other 78? I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. That's so dumb.
I mean, you go into Johns Hopkins, is it like 31 flavors? I want this dick and those boobs.
Oh, my God.
And please don't make it look like a Raggedy Ann appendage. I've heard horror stories.
Yeah, we're going to cover that in the alt tech. It's pretty gruesome.
And you couldn't even make it 10 seconds into that video.
I can't watch a guy willingly get his junk cut off. I can't do it.
Let's go, Brandon. Patriot of the West. OB, gentlemen, work is tight. ATM, less money to spare. You know what? We appreciate every nickel, good sir. Thank you so much. And jumping over to Talbot Link, saw an ad on my way in. Let's see how long that sticks to the stream. And my new boss is a spec grunt named Brandon. He likes my let's go attitude. Yeah.
There's a lot of spec ops guys walking around out there.
Oh, I bet there's a bunch of guys out there named Brandon who just think this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay. I can see it.
I mean, it's #1 song now on iTunes.
I haven't heard it yet.
I haven't either. Somebody sent it to me earlier. I was in the middle of work, couldn't get to it. Tony Soprano, I want to know more about the Nashville bombing on Christmas Day of last year. That's another one they squashed fast.
Yep.
We could talk about that to come Christmas.
Sure.
Yeah. Dung is fun.
What?
You should change your screen name to Mung is fun.
Ugh.
Every time I watch your videos, I have an ad called FEMA Clear. Are you responsible for that, Pop? Just being funny.
I don't think so.
No, if it was King Dongs, then he would be responsible for it.
Shut the fuck up.
Do the Pringle Dingle. Did you guys like that new meme that comes courtesy of one of our fans? It was awesome. Carl Jackson, gun 1, ready on the left. Gun 2, ready on the right. Both guns ready in the center. Watch your lanes. See, they can talk and function well.
Yes, they do.
Yes. Cypher. Oh, we got a Hillary. What's the point of talking about this even? No one's going to do anything to hold them accountable. No one in official capacity, but enough people talk about this, and the word gets out. You can change the system from the bottom up.
If I wind up running the show, that all that information that was suppressed is going to get released.
Yep. Yeah, just
because
change it.
That phrase is for your own good is never ever been used constructively in all of human history.
No. And we know from personal experience, anything that gets censored is probably something you should know. No society has ever actually censored anything for your own good. It is always for their own control.
Correct.
Jail. AF. Antifa foot soldiers have been trained by the Kurds, per Andy No. I did not know that. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
I have to check that out. Evil Zombie Toe. Take my money! Also, Epstein didn't off himself. Starburst munging.
Oh, God damn it. Hey! Bastard.
As per request. Black magic. That's a politically correct term.
Nice.
In the military, they call it rigor magic. On Wheel of Fortune, they called it nagger. Cheers, gentlemen. Do you find it difficult to walk with those giant balls of steel swinging betwixt your legs? Good on you for not backing down.
I've never been a back down kind of guy.
No.
Never.
Do you find it difficult to walk?
I find it hard to live sometimes because people get upset. that you're that guy. Because
Yeah.
people around you are like, well, you're just making waves. You're like, I'm doing the right thing, and you're just looking the other way. Doesn't
Yep.
make you a popular person. That's why there's no happy ending for heroes.
Absolutely.
When you take that step forward to be the man, you have basically surrendered your future happiness to the ether.
Yep. There was a particular quote that was sent to me. I wanted to get around to it last week, and I didn't have the chance to. But this is by Mark Twain. A patriot is mocked, scorned, and hated. Yet, when his cause succeeds, all men will join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot.
It's absolutely correct.
Write that down.
Yep.
Rusty Shackelford, just coming out swinging, speaking of giant balls, with a $100
Whoa!
super chat. Holy smoking Joe Frazier.
We're not worthy!
Woo! It's bedtime for me. It's been a good week. We deserve the truth.
Everyone deserves the truth.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and even if it's 4 years late, even if it takes, shit. We still don't know what really happened to JFK.
Nope.
We all we know is that his last haircut was not the best.
It was a little too close.
A little too close to the close shave.
Yeah.
But the answers to those questions still matter, because we can insinuate, because they've kept it quiet for so long, our own government was involved. Anytime your own government can perpetrate a crime that egregious, if you don't want to know about it, you foolish mortals.
Yeah. You know the guy who pulled the trigger was dead like an hour and a half later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's in a hole somewhere in some desert.
They probably buried him right next to Jimmy Hoffa.
He got ground up and fed to people from the Big Boy Hamburgers.
Who in full Shakespeare Titus Andronicus and served him to his own family in meat pies.
Well, he just, why not? The mob used to own Big Boys.
That's right.
You got to get rid of a body. People like to eat meat.
Oh,
A little bit of this, a
God.
little bit of that.
It's so nasty.
It is. It is. It's got a lump of vomit in my throat just talking
That's worse than munging.
Yeah, cannibalism is not a good thing.
Or herpes spaghetti. That's another one that got you good, man.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Uterine lining.
Oh. Stop! Just stop!
Oh, wait till I show you videos of that chick that we're doing on the ride. That we're not doing on the ride and roast. We did a ride and roast on. Because, somebody actually expects people to believe that she accidentally walked into a worm pile and then to partake of 50 worms in one night.
That's a whole lot of yogurt slingers.
Yeah, I would never do such a thing ordinarily. Please, trust me. God. Ugh, hell snows. I would like to know about the motives of the Ahmed Alyssa case in Boulder, Colorado, the King Soopers killings. They are so far mum about that at this point.
I'm not familiar with that.
I'll have to look it up. Dive into all this stuff. At this point, YouTube thinks that everybody's, just driven it out of their consciousness. So,
I can't do it. I can't do it.
never forget. Fred with a $20 donation. Sometime later, what about that hypersonic Chinese missile? Oh, it's coming.
Oh, we're talking about
We're going
that.
to talk about it. And the news on it has been hysterical. One day apart, totally different perspectives. Traveler 4444, $5 donation just because.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Ohio Trucker with a $20 drop here. Riggs might still be alive. There was an STD outbreak in my area. All right, now how bad are we talking? We talking just chlamydia, genital warts, gonorrhea? Because if it was warts, it could have been Amy Horton.
Could have been herpetogonosyphilis.
Herpetogonosyphilitis. Oh.
Herpetogonosyphilis. Yeah. Double shot and pills and no cure.
Classic. Donald J. Trump in the chat. Oh, it's an honor, good sir. What do you think? Although, fuck you for pardoning Kwame Kilpatrick. What do you think of a 6.5 Creedmoor? Worth stockpiling?
Yes.
Simple answer. I like simplicity. Mosley Jaguar. Scuttlebutt appears that there's been a sub spotted by Vancouver. Local mill deployed quietly.
I haven't heard anything about that.
I'll have to look that one up.
Well, listen, people are going to have subs. They're going to use subs to do sub shit.
Eh? some people pay for subs. Leather, stomping genitalia. Oh,
Ah!
it's terrible. Came up with my own dad joke last night when I was putting my boy to bed, and my wife was like, "That's not a dad joke."
Oh yeah.
Like, well, what does a cosplay pirate fetish and Home Depot have in common?
What?
They're all about crushing me nards. She's like, "Don't tell him that one." I'm like, all right, fine. No fun. No fun. Gregory Van Dyke with a $10 donation. Thanks for all you do. And I dig the avatar. It is Space Ghost.
Nice. Yeah.
Cliff3188. Evening, gents. What are your thoughts on the alleged planes carrying alleged Haitian miners into alleged New York urban areas? Someone took up Epstein's legacy? Yeah. Joe Biden.
Yep. And listen, I lived in New York State for 5.5 years.
Red trash.
Yeah, they're red trash, but those fuckers hate New York City. They're all conservative except for the city. And that city is dictating the terms for that entire state. That's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
People are going to get sick of that shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, essentially, if you have a heavily populated blue area,
They don't live in reality.
the rest of the state is essentially slaves to the policy that they vote for.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Billy Boffer, bravo, Hammer, every day. You chose the wrong MOS. Keep drinking the BS anyway.
I chose the wrong MOS. Dude, that's
Oh, man.
what do you want me to do, bro? Seemed good at the time.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
And
Good
I had
idea,
a great time
Fairy.
doing it.
Good idea, Fairy came out on Saturday. Check it out. Evil Zombie Toe again. Nice shot, Blake. Also, another friendly reminder that Nadal Hassan is still alive and sucking up taxpayer dollars.
Who the hell's that?
I don't know.
I'm bad with names.
I am too. I researched too much. It all just leaks out after a while.
Yeah, now you know things.
Yeah.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. JMV 290. Pop, can belt ammo be gotten without tracers? My ear says multiple MGs, but I never saw a tracer in any vids.
Yes, you can get it. I myself. Hey!
It was by request.
Now, I myself, when I was a 60 gunner, I would take the tracers out of a couple of the belts because tracers work both ways.
That's true. I could dodge that.
I remember the first time I said that, you're laughing your balls off.
Well, it's because you were young and dumb and filled with something that rhymes with dumb, which is what it is.
I got you.
Shady's dad gave a $10 donation. Thank you, good sir. And Ohio Trucker won again. In short, one of everything. Not sure what that is. Irish Lover 7745. JFK blown away. What else do I have to say? Now you're going back in time.
Oh, wow, it's brutal. But it rhymed, and it was actually quite amusing.
Yeah. Polska Bob with a $25 donation via Streamlabs. Gentlemen, beer monies. Blake, can you do a wellness check on Hamster? He may have drunk himself stupid.
Well, you know.
We got to have him on the show again.
It happens.
We need some hamster in our lives.
Yeah, I drink myself stupid once in a while. It's actually good for you.
We all do it. It's just like a good ass kicking. It puts you right with the universe.
It's absolutely correct.
Let's play PC. Pop, behave, or when you get reincarnated, you will come back as one of Amy Horton's genital warts.
You know, that's just mean. That's just mean, man.
Man, that's just mean. Mortuus Machina. You like to think it can't happen here. Open your eyes and see. Hijacked by a group of thugs and criminals in D.C. So don't let them intimidate you, because fear is how they feed. No matter what they throw our way, we must defend liberty. John Schaefer.
Absolutely correct.
Yes. Monet Shot. I've always been a bisexual. 100% down for women and lesbians. My pronouns are fucking you. Let's go, Brandon.
Nice. I like it.
A little golf clap for that one. Fantastic. Shark Dentures. The scheduled release date for The Truth by the Powers That Be is 10 years after the last person who could be prosecuted has died, and 1 month after it no longer matters anymore. Always miss with their schedule by asking questions.
Absolutely correct.
Damn right.
And don't accept no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaur 13. After Vegas, imagine what else they completely obfuscated, fabricated, or covered up. Shit keeps me up at night. Glad Diwa made a Japanese smooth blended scotch to help me out. Raise a glass to the dead. May they one day have justice.
Amen.
Narf. Jumping over to MGTOW.tv really quick, we noticed there was a couple of donations over there.
You've got
Sogo with a $10 donation. Like the stunning and brave first woman governor of New York, don't even care what her name is. Come swallow a heels up, pull my Harris is going to be the first woman president, and she will have gotten the job the same way. Her male boss quit. Kamala says, I'm just biding my time. Kamala says, I'm just biding my time, bitch. Yes. Or she's just going to push him down the stairs. You know.
well. She won't even have to do that. Sooner or later he'll fall down and kill himself.
Or
And
fall up the stairs.
We saw. Well, the thing is he was falling up the stairs. Now, if you fall down the stairs and you're that old,
Fair
things
play.
break.
Fair play. Ballistic Zero with a $15 donation. Let's not forget Russell Sky King Richards. He didn't even hurt a fly. Also remember Tukayid Clanners. Never forget. Get off my lawn. Space is full. More names for the guy who's bad with names.
I'm not good with names.
We appreciate the donation, though, good sir. Kiro Ninja 00. Hey, Blake, like the new fairy outfit for Popp. He looks so happy. Are you going to make a zombie version for Halloween? I may. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that.
The walking Popp. Oh, hang on. You got to do the face again. There we go. All right. So one of the first things that we have to talk about tonight is just well, I mean, I'm not really going to miss him, but we'll just talk about it anyway. Colin Powell, not to be confused with Asshole Powell, dies at 84 from Kung Flu complications. But, he was fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated. So he died at 84. My money is on he died because of 84.
A little bit. I mean, this is the boomer remover after all.
Listen, when you get over the age of 70, you're biding your time to the 19th hole.
Yeah. And I love how the media is actually like expecting everyone to feel bad or not read between the lines of this. You know, they're pushing it for their little narrative again. And I mentioned this to you earlier. Like, imagine a world where you have a 99.97% chance of not shitting your pants. But they're going to force you to wear a diaper anyway, just so your neighbor doesn't shit his pants.
Dude, we got to do that as a comedy video.
Oh, we're going to.
Dude, that is comedy gold.
Pop wants to put me in a Rod Serling suit, which means I would need, buy a pack of cigarettes just so I could have one of my fingers at all times. That dude smoked like a chimney. That's where that
I
voice
like the
came
show,
from.
though. I like the show.
Oh, what's not to love? Twilight Zone, classic.
Great.
Absolute classic. And since we talked about him falling up the stairs, why not? Never gets old.
What is he doing? Come on, man.
You ain't black.
So
now we're going to go to the hypersonic.
yeah,
Okay.
everyone has heard about this by now.
The hypersonic missile.
What's hysterically funny is that, well, first of all, this is not the first time that this has happened. From what I understand, China and another country have run similar tests in the past. What is funny are these two headlines published a day apart, one in the New York Post and the other by the Communist News Network. China says new hypersonic missile a blow to U.S. strategic superiority.
Well, listen, we have our own hypersonic missiles, number one.
ICBMs, right?
No, we have the same technology because they probably stole it from us.
You mean Zuckerberg might have sold it to them?
Maybe. Number two, any country with ICBMs has a hypersonic missile. You literally fire an ICBM into orbit, and it moves at hypersonic speeds, and you can nuke someone on the other side of the planet in like an hour and 10 minutes.
Done.
And chances are we already have defenses for such things, or they will rapidly be perfected.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that I know about that most people don't know about is we've actually taken the hypersonic technology and built it into artillery rounds. So now you can shoot 155 ammo with a hypersonic round in it, like 150 goddamn miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, and that's just the numbers that were released to the public. It could be even further.
Wow.
So
We have no idea how they did this, a person familiar with the test told the publication, which was apparently the initial report came out in the Financial Times on Saturday.
I know how they did it. They literally. You can't do business in China without surrendering your intellectual property rights.
That's basically it, too.
Yeah, those son of a bitches, they fucking,
Yep.
stole the plans.
So, once again, I refer you to this headline. China says new hypersonic missile is a blow to U.S. strategic superiority. The next day, China denies testing a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile and says it was a spacecraft.
Well, hypothetically, it is a spacecraft because it literally skims right at the ionosphere level, which is like the beginnings of space.
Yeah, a routine spacecraft experiment, not like a UFO. That would have been way out in left field even from the Chinese. But it's hilarious because we go from this
To that.
to this.
Now, listen, it's not rocket science.
It actually is. You bastard.
Yeah, I know.
The funniest reaction, though, I think, has to come from Peppermint Patty, Miss Circleback Sally here. We welcome stiff competition. And not the kind that she pays to escort her home from White House dinners,
Yes.
if you know what I mean. Really? Do you want to listen to what she had to say?
Not
This
really.
is no. We welcome competition from China, although we don't want that competition to veer into conflict. We've been at economic war with the Chinese for how long? This is not.
Well,
We are not on good relations. This is a hostile foreign state.
Well, you and I are engaged in informational warfare,
Yes, we are.
and all we do is tell the truth. It's amazing.
When telling the truth is information warfare, something's fucked up somewhere.
Yeah. We are in bizarre world.
Something's-
Garbage is money.
Yeah, something's rotten in Denmark and it smells like Gwyneth Paltrow candles.
Oh!
Oh!
that woman's just an ugly person all the way around.
Without a doubt. And because she's, just that ugly, we're just going to have to play your favorite graphic.
Dad, I'm scared.
Never gets old, does it? This one, even though it's a couple weeks old, we have to talk about it because this is...
Yeah, this is fucked up.
To hear the left say, oh, we got rid of a dictator because my mean tweets. Less than a year later, I mean, this is not even the worst thing that he's done since he's been in office. This is just the cherry on the shit sundae.
For this week.
Biden AG threatens that he'll use the FBI as a tool to intimidate and silence parents who disagree with school boards, administrators pushing for CRT or mask mandates.
It's not going to work out. Because, listen, when you start screwing with people's kids,
Oh,
that's
when
when
it gets...
people, they stop playing around.
Yeah.
And all right, so say you go to one of these things and you throw an absolute shit fit.
Yep.
And you don't threaten anybody, and you don't actually hit anybody, all they're going to do is give you a harsh talking to. Well, I've had quite a few ass chewings in my time, and I'll probably take a few more before I die. Because you're not doing anything illegal.
No. Basically, what Merrick Garland is trying to do, he's trying to be Christoph Waltz at the end of Inglourious Bastards. You'll be shot for this! Nah, more like shootout. I've been shoot out before.
I have been.
And Merrick Garland, has he ever been able to spit out a coherent sentence? He's as bad as Biden.
I don't think so.
This guy threatening you, it's like getting threatened by the Mad TV logo. Fuck this guy. Fuck him in the asshole with a big rubber dick.
Fuck him!
We're in a serious trouble in the United States of America. We have a mostly incoherent president that over half of America doesn't believe was given as ice cream.
Legitimate.
He is likely taking orders from unelected people working behind the scenes with an agenda that is so evil that if our dishonest media actually exposed it, it would shock our nation to its core. What were we saying earlier about asking questions?
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't take no for answers. Keep asking.
It's bad news bears. The letter from the NSBA cites incidents of impassioned parents who have become aggressive at school board meetings, probably because you're fucking with their kids.
That's right.
Writing that as these acts of malice, violence, there hasn't really been any violence, and threats against public school officials have increased, the classification of these heinous actions could be the equivalent to a form of domestic terrorism and hate crimes.
Yeah, whatever. Did you see the footage of the $200 million lawsuit?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite part, like, this is terrorism, but when you ask Merrick Garland about BLM and Antifa and over $2 billion worth in damage, well, that's just, we don't classify that as an organization or a group. We're not going to, we don't track that.
Yep. How convenient.
Yeah. You still thought they were civil servants?
Not so civil.
Not
They're
so
not
civil.
servants anymore.
Yeah.
They're neither civil nor servants.
Mhm.
Dictators.
Yes, and they should be deposed as such.
Correct.
Remember that book, A Tale of Two Cities? It's a good book. It tells you exactly what happens when shit like this is allowed to go unchecked for too long. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, they run counter to our nation's core values.
Oh, shut the fuck.
Oh, only
what
against
threats?
public servants. Yeah, what threats?
What threats?
Stop.
I'm going to sue you. That's totally legit. You're allowed to threaten that because that's the system you're allowed to operate within. But when that system breaks down, well, history says something else happens,
Yeah.
and they won't like it.
This is just, I love that. The primary concern, of course, is domestic extremisms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but never mind the $2 billion in damage. And just recently, from
It's
what I
way more
understand,
than that.
I know it's way more than that now. Just the other day, in Portland, I believe, in order to avenge the death of a fallen comrade, Antifa decided to go on another spree and racked up another $500,000 in damage in one night.
I have no idea why the average citizen isn't like just patrolling the streets, putting these guys down. They are not. I mean, that isn't protesting. If they're out there smashing stuff and getting stupid, listen, you know, if the police aren't going to do anything about it, there will come a time when the average citizen is like, all right,
Let's throw down.
It's go time. I don't want to see that happen.
No, nor
But-
do I.
If you follow history, that's what's next.
I love this. This is actually the letter from the Office of the Attorney General. He has instructed the FBI to mobilize against parents who oppose critical race theory in public schools, citing threats. The letter follows the National School Board Association's request to classify protests as domestic terrorism.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, there's nothing they could do to you if you're not breaking the law. Yeah, they can
Well, they're
come
just
yell
going to
at you.
redefine
So
it.
what?
Just like they redefined racism,
Yeah.
fascism, they're going to redefine the law and then use that to come after you. Patriots are now domestic extremists.
Yeah, but there's way more of us than there's
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see. You know, like I said, we are way down the road now. We are rapidly approaching the two-way rifle range. And
So this is why you need to get involved at the state and local level, because you can change the system from the bottom up.
absolutely correct.
Just because they attempt to pull shit like this does not mean that they are owed compliance from law enforcement agencies at the state and local level.
Yep.
And critical race theory, for the record, is 1,000% bullshit.
It's Marxism.
It self-refutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that this system is systemically racist and terrible. We need to change it using the same system we claim is systemically racist, corrupt, and terrible.
And they want
I'm
to go
sorry,
back
what?
to segregating everyone.
Yep.
They're not going to like that when it happens.
No. But this is public education now. Racial equity team. I can't even say without laughing. At Seattle Elementary School, cancels annual Halloween parade because it marginalizes students of color.
Yeah.
All right,
See, I'm not
how?
good with that. Yeah. Well, one, I mean, they're messing with kids. Listen, the people of America need to wake up. Your kids are being programmed with propaganda, and it's not going to work out for them as they get older.
This is so fucking stupid. It marginalizes students of color who don't celebrate the holiday. Okay.
So what?
What about the
People who do celebrate.
Yeah, what about the people who do celebrate the holiday, which is probably the vast majority? And there's also white kids who go to a little something called the Kingdom's Hall who don't celebrate anything. I don't see you giving a flying fuck about them because you shouldn't, but I'm just saying what's good for the geese is good for the gander.
Well, when I was a child, actually, before I had kids, Halloween was my favorite holiday.
Oh, hell yeah.
I loved it.
Well, I mean, you are a sugar fanatic.
I know.
Any opportunity to collect free sugar from people, I could see you
Oh, yeah.
going to town.
I was a double trick-or-treater. I always went out with a second costume.
That is genius.
I'd literally get 40 pounds of candy in a night. It was like legal stealing.
Wow.
It's awesome. I did the same thing with my kids. When
That's pretty damn funny right there. I mean, this is weapons grade horse shit.
Yep.
Like, we're just going to take away your kids' holidays. We're going to take away their autonomy. We're going to take away their bodily autonomy.
Why don't we just turn everyone into Jehovah's Witness? They don't celebrate anything.
Yeah, and we teach them critical race theory. We're going to take away their education. We're going to replace it with bullshit.
Well, hell, there's some states that are allowing students to graduate high school not knowing how to read and write.
Oh, yeah.
Or do math.
And because they marginalize students of color, we need to take away advanced placement courses and things like that because it's just not fair.
Well, what you're doing is you're creating the useful idiots that you're going to march into the jaws as cannon fodder.
You want to know why people started protesting this shit? It wasn't just because of critical race theory. We have a video. If you saw the segment on Crowder, then you know what's going on. I actually borrowed it, so you're going to hear some of the commentary, but because they had already censored it, it did part of my job for me. So
Excellent.
And I work very hard, so when I have the opportunity to be lazy, you can smurf my balls.
Yeah.
But this is going to piss you off. This is going to spin you up. Do you have whiskey in your glass?
I have
You're going to need it.
Okay.
Where are you?
In the library. Meeting in Texas on pornography in the schools.
Oh, yeah, I saw this
I
one.
decided to check the titles at my child's school. Both of these books include pedophilia, sex between men and boys.
Scout's manual?
Both books describe different acts. One book describes a 4th grade boy performing oral sex on an adult male. From the author, Maya Kobabe.
Stephen
Quote,
King.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I am going to give you the job of your life, and then I want you inside me, end quote. From the author, Jonathan Evison.
Now, this is disgusting. When they actually start interrupting these parents, that's when you're going to need a drink.
What if I told you I touched another guy's dick? What if I told you I sucked it? I was 10 years old, but it's true. I sucked Doug Goebel's dick, the real estate guy, and he sucked mine too.
God damn
This is not an oversight at Fairfax High School.
Sorry. May I please make a point of, there are children in the audience.
Shut the fuck up!
There are children in the audience. You're not allowed to
talk about
to
it.
Give our curriculum back to us in front of kids. We're allowed to do it to them when you're not around.
You're not looking. They need to put cameras in every classroom that the parents can look in and observe at any time.
Yeah. Well, when they were doing the virtual schooling bullshit, which, by the way, is still going on,
yeah,
that they were telling parents, you shouldn't be in the room when your kid is doing their virtual schooling.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck
oh, I'm sorry. Are you teaching them something that I shouldn't know?
Yeah, fuck off.
Children in the library and in the classroom.
Virginia law makes the possession,
the red
distribution,
snatch of courage,
and exhibition of obscene material and child pornography a felony crime. Every day you allow such books to be in our schools makes you complicit in furthering potential violations of the law. Finally, the plan talks about promoting parent participation, and I agree.
You're pushing on kids. Her son showed her a reading assignment given to him by his Fairfax County Public School and said, this is, quote, all in their 20s, minus women, milking cows, dreaming of rape,
Sir.
waiting for. These are a part of a reading assignment that your school assigned to our kids.
We have children in the room.
Shut your fucking mouth.
We have children in the room. We need to teach them this stuff when you're not around. So you can't talk about it here.
This is so. I really don't understand why these people aren't like getting violent. I mean, this is insane.
This is beyond insane.
Oh my god.
Oh. And with that in mind, there's a happy ending here. And everybody out there who's got their children in public schools needs to take note and take action in a similar way. Because if you hurt these people where they live, they have to stop.
That's right.
Merrick Garland threat against parents' First Amendment right backfires. Dad serves stunned school board with a $200 million lawsuit in the middle of a meeting.
Everyone needs to do this.
We got to watch this because it's too beautiful. Where's the video? Oh, did they give it away? Oh, okay. Watch. Here's the copy. Here's the paste.
Boom.
It's got to be in here somewhere. All of a sudden, it was just deleted from the thing. All right, here we go.
In your own personal interests. The people in this country have had enough, and we are fighting back. I have something to give you. Security, would you do me a favor? Would you please hand those forms to the board members starting with Jara? You have been officially served a $200 million lawsuit with 6 complaints and violations under multiple amendments. Your job is not to be concerned with the children's health. You're not nurses. You're not doctors. You are not responsible for their health organization. Your only focus is on our children's education. Yet the education system here is 50th in the state, and you make almost more money than anybody else. It's very clear that you have failed at doing that job. This country is not alone. It's time that we wake up, and we're going to give you lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit.
Good.
You can throw it out as much as you want, but we're going to keep this paperwork on your desk and keep a problem going until we get exactly what we want.
That's right.
This
Sue
is
them
not
into the fucking Stone Age.
We will have our freedom of choice, and we're going to see you in court.
Your laugh is disgusting.
Boom.
Did some of those people resign after that?
I don't know. It would be very hilarious if they did.
The thing is, even if they resigned, I would still sue the shit out of them. Fuck them. They made decisions that impact your kids. No.
What people like Merrick Garland are trying to say is that us as parents, the people who pay for the taxes, pay for the salaries of the people who are teaching them this utter horseshit nonsense, should have no say in what is being taught to our kids.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but if I go to a restaurant and I pay for food and I ask for chicken Alfredo and you bring me a cheeseburger and tell me it's for my own good, fuck you.
That's absolutely correct.
I paid you. You give me what I paid for.
I would whip that cheeseburger right at your face. Say, bring me my fucking food.
And knowing most waitresses, it wouldn't be the first big, meaty, cheese-filled thing to be flung at their faces that day.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm going to go with you're probably correct.
All right. We are going to go to new tech after this because we have to talk about Popp's manual transmission vehicle.
Oh, God. Do we have any more super chats?
We do indeed.
Let's do those first.
Make sure that you guys check out the links in the description for the new tech channels. I will be pasting links directly to the streams in the chat as we transfer out. But we're going to go to your super chats right now. Let's check them out here. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. Tony Soprano, if you like mob stuff, watch Sammy the Bull or Michael Franzese on YouTube.
I watched them. They're good.
He likes it. Pop should get a Captain America shield to block all them straws. No respect. Rodney Dangerfield voice. I can't do Rodney Dangerfield.
No, I guess.
It's my bad. I'm sorry. That's good stuff, though. We can get you a Captain America shield. Yeah. I mean, I photoshopped you as Captain America. Yeah. Went over pretty.
I don't have the physique for it anymore. I'm old.
You could use it to cover up your man tits.
My moobs. You know you're old when you have moobs.
Yeah.
Your pubes turn gray, and you have to pull eyebrow hair out with 2 hands. Yeah.
Nice.
No, I found one that it was like 2 inches long, and I literally took 2 hands to pull it out, and then it bled. It was so deep. It was like connected to my eyeball.
Getting old sucks, man.
It does.
Con Air, Let's Go Brandon is literally the second shot heard around the world. It's a warning not just to Joe Biden. It's a warning for the whole Democrat Party. We're coming for you. And Memetics is
They're not
back.
even Democrats. They're socialists.
They are.
They're no. Listen, back in the day, the Democrats, they supported the poor, and they actually tried to get people to work. And now they're just all about having everyone have free shit. It's not going to work.
No.
Nothing. Listen.
Nothing is free.
The minute you drop out of the vagina, you owe nothing to the universe but a death.
Pretty much. And taxes.
And no, everything that you do while you're down here isn't free.
No.
It's not. I mean, you have to jump through all kinds of crazy motherfucking hoops just to eat.
Damn right.
All right, I can go on.
And especially now, because Biden has fucked the economy raw in the butt with no lube, to the point where they've got record-breaking numbers of containers just sitting in ports because they don't have enough people to deliver the shit.
Yeah.
This is an artificially Democrat Party-created shortage.
Yeah, we are actually experiencing some anal resizing.
Which we're going to get into in detail in a little bit.
God, no! All right, keep going.
Dilation doesn't just happen when they test you for glaucoma.
All right, how many people we have actually watching?
905 on YouTube. Thank you all very much.
How many likes
for
we have?
tuning in. 66 over on Twitch. We got 733 likes on YouTube. Not doing too bad. A little over 2/3.
All right.
Thank you very much for that. We got 122 people over on D Live, 136 on Odyssey, 65 on MGTOW.tv, and one comment on RoxyTube, 2 question marks from the Colonel.
Okay, cool.
Colonel Sanders, I'll take a breast and 2 thighs.
I do have a lot of officers watch my stuff.
All right.
Secretly, of course.
Nice. Travis Wolf, hey, Popp and Blake, just wanted to jump in and say great show on Saturday. Should have named it Classic Mistakes Men Make Part 3. It's pretty close. Yeah.
We could actually do that video now.
We really could.
Listen.
You've done them all.
As men, we are stupid.
Yep.
And most of the time, we don't get wise or learn until there's pain involved.
One of my favorite episodes that very few people watched was Stupid Shit Men Do Under 25. That shit was hilarious.
I did most of that shit myself.
Running from the cops was one of the things on
God,
the list.
What are you thinking? I read it was a sport for me when I was in high school to run from the cops. I did like 2 or 3 times. I know, like my buddy Pete and I are like, hey, let's get chased by the cops. Okay.
And
they're not catching us.
How bad can it be?
Listen, you're not catching us. Fuck off.
They'd catch you now.
I'm old and slow now.
Yeah.
But when I was young and spry, you're not catching this motherfucker.
Yeah, so go in the chat. Go Fairy Pop. It had been a long time since we had done a Photoshop that held a candle to the head in the wedding dress.
I have grown accustomed to having my face Photoshopped on all kinds of stuff. It didn't even faze me when I saw it.
Nacho Libre,
I know.
Gandalf.
My face is on a fairy. It's awesome.
I put your face on the Grim Reaper about a month ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah. J. Lee 7329. Fun fact: the AG's daughter sells CRT materials to schools and porn on OnlyFans. I'm sure.
Yeah, that CRT is insane.
Yep. Well, the thing is, it's poorly named. Because in order for something to be a theory, it has to have been subjected to a battery of tests in order to pass the hypothesis stage and hold enough water to be considered a theory.
But then you're using their own words against them, which is follow the science, which they don't do.
No.
On virtually anything.
Wah.
All right.
Kiss my ass. Cabragoon Cabulus. Hey, how you doing, man? Fellas, odds of getting out without apocalyptic-like times and U.S. gaining high ground, or are we inevitably shite?
Well, I believe we are on the verge of bailing out the country of shit, and it's going to be all patriots doing it, and it's going to be dirty, nasty, ugly. And most of the people who participate in that will not get a happy ending.
Jail.
Their happiness, they're going to sacrifice their happiness to do the right thing.
Yeah. I'm noticing that there's been some issues with lag over on MGTOW.tv and DLive tonight. Apologize for that, dudes. We had some issues with the internet when we first started out. The stream isn't broadcasting at the level that we want it to be. It just is what it is. These things happen from time to time.
Chicks, man.
Chicks, man.
Chicks.
But I am recording the stream native to the computer, and that's what's going to be re-uploaded later to Odyssey and MGTOW.tv. So even if it's not playing perfectly right now, you're going to have a flawless version for replay.
All right.
All right.
We do have a lot of truckers who listen to our shit when they drive.
Oh, yeah.
And we have one nuclear sub that watches our
Nice.
stuff, and we have I don't remember the aircraft carrier that has the night shift that watches our stuff.
That's cool.
Fucking
A
awesome.
pregnant woman who goes swimming is technically a human submarine.
Technically, you are correct.
Tune in next time for nuggets of huh? What do we got here? AF, local sheriffs can and have arrested feds. Boom.
They should.
Exactly.
Listen, that's another thing that's really going to go a long way to fucking this stuff up for the Dems. If the sheriffs across this country who are elected just say fuck off.
Bye-bye.
You're not pulling that shit in my county, and if you do, I'm going to arrest you.
Schmuckers.
Or we might surround you and fill you full of lead. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Things happen.
Things do happen. Ohio Trucker 1, look up Oberlin College. The you-know-who had a fit over the radiator repairman. It is a far-left $80,000 a year joint.
I saw that. Yeah. So they're paying $80,000 a year to go to this school.
Wow.
The school releases emails to everyone that's staying in their property, like, hey, we're upgrading our radiators. There's going to be somebody coming by, and this people are getting upset, like, oh, I feel traumatized. Then fucking freeze.
First world problems. In other words, you don't have any.
Yeah, it's dumb. Listen, the guy shows up to fix your radiator, lock your valuables up, go get a coffee, go to study hall. It'll be done by the time you get back.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, drive on, and unfuck yourself. I mean, I would tell soldiers that. I'd be like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So what is that? Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Now, just be quiet. Sergeant Pop's going to give you some advice. Unfuck your life. There you go.
Drive on.
You know how many times I heard that, drive on. But the bone is sticking out. Take some Motrin, drink water, you'll be fine. Okay, we're going to have to go with a big fuck off. Oh, I did that again at McDonald's today. They didn't have fountain drinks.
Those poor people, man. At least they're out working. I'll give them that much.
Yeah, well,
there's so many lazy a-holes staying at home.
If you're running McDonald's and you go up and you order your stuff and they're like, oh, we don't have any nothing to drink. Well, why am I here then? I'm going to go to the next one. It's less than a mile away. Fuck off.
The enlightened Mr. Peabody says, Warren Pay is a pedo weapon.
It is.
I would agree with that as well. Disgusting. What do we got here? Monet shot over on Streamlabs again. Cannabil's Ice Cream Emporium, featuring the 21 flavors of Bob and 16 flavors from the lighter side of Linda. Pro tip, avoid the chocolate. It tastes like shit. Y'all have a good night and be safe. The target you've stapled on your back makes me nervous.
Oh.
It makes us nervous, too, from time to time, but we have a good hearty shit and a double coffee in the morning, and we drive on.
I had to quit drinking so much coffee. It was fucking me up.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah.
You gotta dial it down a bit sometimes.
Dinosaur 13, Judge, you are obsolete.
Same guy trapped with the obsolete man. For the love of God, let me go. Yes, for the love of God, I will let you go. For the crime of invoking God, the judge is made obsolete. Best episode of Twilight Zone ever.
Really? I haven't seen that one.
I don't know. I like Nightmare at 10,000 Feet is great.
That's got
William Shatner.
Yeah, William Shatner.
With
I like
the
that
gremlin
one.
on the wing. That's a great one.
Yeah.
The remake in the movie with John Lithgow was directed by the same guy that made Mad Max. That was fucking great too. And of course the All the Time in the World with Burgess Meredith.
Oh yeah.
That is just beautiful.
That dude was such a good actor too.
Oh yeah. God rest his soul, man. Burgess Meredith.
Good
Godspeed to him.
motherfucker right there.
And I mean, how many different... He had a multi-decade career and managed to create a character that I remember out of every single one of those decades.
Yeah, he was the Riddler too, wasn't he?
Not the Riddler, the Penguin.
Oh, the Penguin.
Yeah, he was the Penguin in the 60s.
Yeah.
He played Mickey in Rocky.
Yeah. Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. I literally believed he was a boxing trainer. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's great.
But, actors are masters of lying inception, and he was great at it.
I loved when he just tore Rocky down a peg,
Yeah.
It's like, you have to wear that stinking sweatshirt? Well, it brings me luck. You know what it brings? It brings flies.
Yeah!
That's some good shit right there. All right, ladies and germs, before we leave it, for the people who don't follow us over to New Tech, Popp will be doing a stream this Thursday night. Where is it? No, we already saw that one. Hang on. But it is going to be for supporters on Patreon, Subscribestar, and Locals only. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern this Thursday night. Be there or be square. Links are in the description.
Yep, and I will field your questions on ammo, weapons, and equipment.
It's good times. All right, we're going to go empty our squirrel bladders, and we will join you on New Tech momentarily. Look out for those links in the chat.
Boom!